Today I only wanted to pour a glass of water, but my water purifier had a problem. I opened the tap, waited a few seconds, and almost no water came out. I opened the machine to check it. The pump still ran, but the water did not come out properly. That small sound gave me a bold DIY idea. After checking it, I realized this RO pump might still be usable. In a water purifier, an RO pump creates pressure to push water through the filter system. So this is not just a small pump. It is the pressure source for the water flow. I removed it and brought it to the workbench. Before testing, I need to mark the water inlet and outlet on the RO pump. If I connect it backward, the pump may run weakly or push water the wrong way. In water DIY projects, one wrong connection can change the whole result. So I mark both ports clearly before adding tubes. The original wires on the RO pump are quite short. If I keep them like this, connecting the pump to the frame and power source will be inconvenient. So I extend them with a wire about 25 centimeters long. This gives me more room to place the pump later. I strip the insulation, twist the copper cores firmly, and connect each polarity correctly. With a DC pump, the positive and negative wires must be checked carefully. After connecting, I inspect the joint to make sure it is tight and does not short when power is applied. Today, I do not have the right ring terminals, but in DIY we use what we have as long as it is safe and reasonable. So I use flat washers as temporary contact points for the wires. Their metal surface gives a wider contact area when clamped to the power source. By now, can you guess what power source I will use today? Next, I have a length of flexible tube. It has an outer diameter of 8 mm and an inner diameter of 5 mm. This type of tube is often used to carry water or air in small systems. I will cut it into several sections for the water paths. First, I cut 6 pieces, each about 30 centimeters long. Then I take one 30 centimeter piece and cut it into 2 shorter pieces, each about 15 centimeters long. So now I have 5 tubes at 30 centimeters and 2 tubes at 15 centimeters. Tube length matters. If the tubes are too long, they become messy. If they are too short, they can pull on the fittings. Now I connect the tubes using T-shaped quick fittings with built-in flow control valves. The T-fittings split the water into several branches. The flow valves adjust how much water passes through each branch. At the 2 outer ends, I use PL elbow fittings to turn the tubes neatly. As they connect, the tubes look like a small road network for water. Can you guess why I need several water branches? And this is the result after the connection is complete. Next, this is a straight inline mesh filter. I bought it online because this small filter size is not easy to find from old scraps. Its job is to catch small debris, algae, sand, grit and dirt from raw water. This is important. If dirt goes into the pump, it can affect the pump parts. If dirt travels further, the small outlets can clog easily. This filter does not increase water pressure, but it protects the parts behind it and helps the system run more steadily. Now I need a 10mm flexible tube. This tube will be attached directly to the straight inline mesh filter. I push the tube firmly onto the end of the filter to make the joint tighter. At this step, I am not connecting it to the RO pump yet. I am only preparing the inlet water path through the filter first. The filter will help catch dirt, small debris, sand or grit before the water moves further into the system. If this tube is not fitted tightly, water may leak right at the filter connection during testing, so I check the joint carefully before moving to the next step. The main parts are almost ready. Now I need a wooden frame to hold everything together. This frame will keep the pump, power source, filter and tubing in fixed positions. If the parts stay loose on the table, they can shift during testing. In water DIY projects with pressure, a solid frame is very important. The power source I use today is a drill battery. I choose it because it is compact, removable and convenient for testing outside the workbench. I will mount it on the wooden frame with the RO pump. After placing the battery and pump, I finish the frame. The wires need to stay neat. The tube should not bend too sharply. The fittings must remain easy to check. Now the pump and power unit are ready to move into their real working position. By now, have you guessed what today's DIY project is? The RO pump, the filter, and these small tube branches are about to go into position. Let's see what happens when water is pushed through the system. The connected tube branches will be fixed to the stainless steel bar near the roof of the parking area. I need to space them evenly so the water can spray downward as a fine mist. This system will create a light mist to cool the parking area. Now I connect the pump to the tube branch on the roof. This is the main path that sends water from the pump to the misting branches. Once the joint is tight, I will prepare to power the system and check the result. Everything is fixed in place. Now I connect the RO pump to the drill battery. When the pump runs, water passes through the filter, moves up to the roof branches and exits through the small mist outlets. If the pressure is even, the mist should spray down smoothly. Let's see the result. And here is the result. A homemade misting machine made from an old RO pump, a drill battery, a mesh filter, and small flexible tubes. What do you think of this misting system? Would it be best for cooling a parking area, a garden, a planting corner, or a small animal shelter? Leave your ideas in the comments. If you find it useful, please like, share, and subscribe.